We are back with round 6 of our Modern 1K event here at D6 Games in Rochester, Minnesota.
Yes.
This afternoon we have you said pretty clean cut to...
So when I say clean cut, these standings, we have 12-point players all the way down to 8th place,
Oh,
and then
sure.
dropping down to 9 for our 9th place player. So I expect tables 1 through 4 to draw, and that's our top 8. And we'll get to see them as we keep going in the future rounds.
Sure. In the meantime,
we have this will be from table 7, so still in like that one loss bracket, or in the 2 loss bracket, but nobody's live for top 8.
Okay. So in this case, you said we have a humans versus Tron matchup.
This is humans versus Tron that we get to see from the beginning.
Excellent. Okay.
Oh, there should be. I will go check on that.
Stacy followed up with them. We're definitely live, though, right? We're definitely live, though, right? I'm not muted, am I?
No, you're live.
Okay. Excellent. I'm just checking with our producer, Mark, here to make sure that we're live. Make sure that the audio was working for you guys. We're working on getting our feature match set up with, as I said, humans versus Tron. This will be 2 different people we haven't had on stream yet. Earlier, we had a humans versus Tron matchup that went pretty quickly and pretty smoothly for the humans player. I'm sorry, the Tron player eventually. So we're going to work on getting them set up. Should be just a minute while we wait. So how's the stream doing? How's your afternoon doing, Phil? Good. I'm glad to hear it, Phil. Hopefully this last round, I think we cleaned up some of the issues, the recommendations you had given us, too, about how we talk about stuff. Yeah, I was glad to see you, too, Phil. It was good you stopped by. Oh, what I like about this, I'm looking over our Tron list here. Again, it's the same 4 Karn Liberated, 4 Karn the Great Creator. The Great Creator sideboard package is a single Crucible of Worlds, an Ensnaring Bridge, the Liquid Metal Coating, the Mycosynth Lattice, the 3 Nature's Claims, the single Relic of Progenitus, 2 Spatial Contortion, 2 Thrag Tusk, a Trinisphere, and 2 Veil of Summer. I like that. That's a pretty boilerplate Tron list up until now. The Great Creator addition to that deck really did just kind of change how it's built. He does have the main deck Thrag Tusk, which is also not uncommon. The 3 Worm Coil, 2 Walking Ballista, 2 Ulamog, 2 Ugin package as well. From the human side, I'm looking to see if there's anything really spicy.
So he's got the Dismember in the board. So I mean that's something you can do. Most of your lands will cast that, even if you have to pay the life for it.
Sure.
The rest of it looks pretty accurate for now. He has Auric Champion, which is that's a choice. There's a few different ways you can go with that. I do like Auric Champion a lot.
He says it's a choice. I like it.
There's a lot of different choices you can do in that sideboard. I mean, I showed up to Modern Monday last Monday with a deck that was 6 months old and without Deputy of Detentions because I didn't find them in time. And so that still played out very well. So Andy is against the wall. He will be player number 2.
They're getting shuffled up now.
All right.
Now, we've already talked a bit, for people who've been with us this afternoon, we talked a bit earlier about how the Tron Humans matchup breaks. It's not so much die roll dependent, although that does affect anybody who's playing against Tron. Looks like the Humans player in this instance has won the die roll. He'll be going first, so that's pretty favorable for him.
Yep.
As it stands, I do think that it'll be a bit of an uphill slog depending on the hand he gets. And Stacy, you can maybe speak to what hands he's actually actively looking for.
So I mean, in the blind, he's just not going to know, and that does help when every time your opponent mulligans, you feel really good. Yes, the London Mulligan helps a lot, but every time you're down that card, your opponent's down that card, it gets better for you. Now, once he finds out that this is Tron, it will be a long road, not a long road up, but it is going to be an uphill battle.
Sure.
Again, you want something aggressive. You want your opponent to miss on like your Oblivion Stones.
What their set scores are?
They are both 3 and 2. And again, our top 8, if we had anybody that was like on the bubble, like winning in, we would have had them on here. However, our top 8 players are predetermined because of how Magic Swiss pairings work. So,
Taking one more mulligan here, it looks like.
ooh, down to 5.
It's all right, bruv. I'm not bothered.
I mean, there are still like Tron mulligans very well.
That's right.
We
Tron
saw that
mulligan's
earlier.
better than I would say nearly any deck in the format.
Yeah. The only thing,
Redundancies and
once he finds out he's on Tron, Andy's just gonna have to hope that his opponent missed on his payoff, because usually they get the lands. As our stream said earlier, and Phil added it on our stream. If Tron keeps their 7, you're just dead. He's very accurate on that.
often very true.
So especially in the humans matchup, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. So. All right, so it looks like I think James kept his 5.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, and we know Andy's on the play, so here we go.
What are we leading with, Andy? Land go. The best humans opening ever. We're going to go Chromatic Star from the Tron list and a Power Plant or Mine, or it really doesn't matter. They're all the same land, right?
Urza something.
It's all the same land. So from here, he's got his unclaimed territory, so his mana is pretty clean. What do we think he's looking to play? He had a Meddling Mage in his opening hand. Are we blind naming something here?
If you're going to blind name, you blind name Oblivion Stone again, because that's the thing that wrecks you. Now, last time we had this on camera, of course, then he proceeded to lose to Ugin in both games 2 and 3. But
Sure.
we'll see if that thing happens again.
The big tell for us in the booth, since we obviously can't hear what's going on out there or what's been named. Oh, he named it for
Ooh.
us. He named Karn.
All right, we're gonna.
We'll buy Andy Walter a soda. He's doing us a favor, letting us know what he named.
Thanks, Andy.
He's gonna Sylvan Scrying here to get his 3rd Tron piece. So he named Karn in the blind, and that's gonna kind of come back.
I mean,
to bite
he's
him.
got 2 different Karns. I'm curious which Karn he named, but
The
probably
big one.
Liberated.
The big one.
Yeah.
We're still living in a world where, to our chat, our friend Phil in chat, we're still living in a world where getting used to just saying Karn it's something we know we're talking about liberated.
Yeah. Although it is relevant, he may not know his opponent's on Great Creator, but still.
So that's a pretty solid curve for Andy, Meddling Mage into the Mantis Rider. He's going to want to have to keep up that pressure. The problem is that Oblivion Stone is going to resolve.
There it is.
That was in James's opening hand or early in one of his draws.
Yep.
There's another star, and he's going to crack that right away for a mana. Add a green and try to draw an Ancient Stirrings. And he did because he's good at Magic.
I'm sure Phil will add into our stream here.
There's Spooky Dragon Boy.
Guess what's going to show up next turn?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even Meddling Mage it away. It just buys a turn because Oblivion Stone's already on table.
That's right.
I think you just take your 5, go to 10, and accept that you can only put your opponent to 10. Playing permanents here does you nothing.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be a quick game 2.
Game 1. At least it's only game 1.
We're on our way to game 2, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be a quick hurry up and go to game 2. Eugene is he's coming in hot. He's also got his 4th Tron piece in his hand.
Yeah.
Just the other power plant in case he needs more mana.
Yeah, as if he needed more mana. Like, he really literally just needs any untapped source.
Spoiler, on the top is probably another tower.
Yeah, the Tron players always have Tron. That's the way it goes. All right, so bash for 5, put him to 10.
And don't commit anything to the board you can't afford to. He's tapping mana.
Let's see what he's got. Oh. He reset his Meddling Mage.
He reset the
With
Meddling
the
Mage with a
Prince.
Charming Prince. I like the
Oh,
play.
we should look at Charmed Prince because he is brand new.
Charmed Prince resetting and naming Ugin. Again, Andy Walter coming through. forcing him to use the Oblivion Stone this turn, maybe even sandbagging a second Meddling Mage in his hand, or hoping to top deck it in the blind to keep the Ugin from coming down.
Forcing him to blow the Oblivion Stone does put him off a turn on Ugin.
It does.
And with this attack, he probably wants to blow the Oblivion Stone in this attack.
Just really clean play from Andy here.
Yeah. And yes, that would be the best post-combat, is to be able to just Meddling Mage again. We've got Champ.
Thalia's Lieutenant.
Nope.
Meddling Mage naming Ugin again. I love it.
There you go.
I love it. If you cannot be good, be even gooder. I believe that's how that goes.
Yeah, close enough.
Look at him go. That's terrific.
He did miss his Champ trigger.
He did.
But... All right. So
this is why I'm bad at Magic. I can't just draw multiple copies of the one card I need. This is skillful play, and he played that correctly. He didn't overcommit to the board. That is terrific from Andy.
And clearly James does not have any follow-up play other than that Ugins, because he's just like run out the map, get the land.
He does have a Karn the Great Creator, though, in his hand, I believe.
Okay.
And he's got a Karn Liberated, it looks like. So we're going to see something happen. He did forget his trigger.
Oh, yeah.
From the chat, we see you. He did forget his trigger.
He did forget his Champ trigger.
Magic is hard, friends.
Magic is hard.
And there's the Liberated to exile the Meddling Mage.
Yep.
You take that on the chin, because Ugin is, Ugin is basically the linchpin here.
Yeah, humans can't beat an Ugin, a resolved Ugin. He's sitting thinking about it.
Go upstairs, I dare you. Go upstairs. That's the wrong answer.
Yeah. I mean, and
he's deliberating. True, there isn't a judge there. We could have paused the game to get the trigger.
But it's a mistrigger. Like, there's not even a penalty for mistriggers, so
that's true. 'Cause
it's just a Champ trigger. There's there we go. Okay. And so since there's no penalty for that, there's no reason to stop the game. All that we would do is if we got the judge over there, he'd be like, "Hey, do you want him to have that trigger?" He would say no, and we would move on. All right.
Everything in his hand needs to be a one-drop human, and maybe he can get him here.
Even then, he needs the third Meddling Mage and 2 humans, because then Champ can kill Karn, Liberated. And
he's got a Lieutenant.
Well, Lieutenant's good for 2 counters on that. Oop, 3 mana. Reflector Mage, because he has the word human stapled to him.
Boy, oh boy.
Yep, that is true. Yep. If you didn't catch that earlier, confirming yes. I am a level 2 judge from Rochester, Minnesota here. So, all right, there's Ugin.
That's the death knell.
Yep.
Mantis Rider doesn't do it.
I mean, Mantis Rider at least has haste, so you get in for 3 before he dies. But
so Daisy Chain got it. We need and he's got enough mana. Tron playing a little bit of Still got all these.
Yep.
Going to the sideboard.
It's realistically, Andy's got 1 turn before it's like locked. Because I'm gonna assume Great Creator is gonna go get the Mycosynth Lattice, get it into play, and then you don't even get to tap lands for mana anymore.
I appreciate James taking his time with it. He reveals a liquid metal coating instead, and he plays it
because he can cast it right away.
Yep. And he can activate it to turn something into an artifact.
Yep, so he can turn it off for the turn, effectively negate, like Wasteland for, not Wasteland, but turn it off for a turn. It is, I will agree with that, it is all moral victories at this point.
That's right. He drew well, he played well, he responded by sacking it.
Yep.
We've got Athalia's Lieutenant.
Trigger,
We are playing for pride.
We are playing for pride. course, we are in the top 8 has been determined in this event. This is all playing for pride anyway, so.
That's right. Karn's going to plus, turn liquid metal coating into a creature, and attack. But I doubt it. Greatest more victory. And then he plays the Mycosynth Lattice, and we are going to game 2.
Go on to game 2.
Sideboards for the respective decks.
All
Tron,
right.
is it worth talking about Tron sideboarding at this point in time?
Tron probably doesn't have a lot it actually brings in because they're actually just better to go get with the dude. You bring in the 2 Thrag Tusks because gaining 5 life against an aggressive deck is good no matter when you do it.
And we're trimming on Karn Liberateds here.
Yeah, as a spot removal, they're a little bit less good. I mean, you can turn 3 it, but I like trimming that above trimming anything else. You might not care about Ulamog. So, from the other side, from the human side, you need your Deputy of Detention. That's one of your few outs against Ugin, should he resolve.
Now, what does Andy actually have in his sideboard?
So let's
What's
see.
his sideboard look
So
like?
he's got a Dismember. It doesn't do much here. He's got a Hostage Taker, which is actually fine. It can accidentally just hit any. You can accidentally get like an Oblivion Stone when they don't have the mana to pop it. So that's probably fine here. 2 Deputy of Detention. 2 Knight of Autumn. They're also fine here because you can blow up the artifacts before they get online.
Sure.
Plague Engineer, not relevant here. Sin Collector. My door opened, so I have to pause. Sin Collector doesn't do a lot here. Damping Sphere definitely comes in. And Combo, Tron doesn't have a lot of artifacts. Combo's probably fine here. And then the Auric Champion doesn't do much in this matchup. So there's definitely things to bring in. I mean, you get to maybe not auto takeout. Like, you can probably trim on Reflector Mages. They only have, they don't have that many creatures.
2 live targets, and one of them is suboptimal in Thrag Tusk.
Yeah. No Spatial Contortion in the list.
Yep.
Oh, no, he does have the Spatial Contortion in the list. My apologies.
Yep.
I agree. I kind of said that earlier in the stream when we had humans on earlier. The question is, how does humans win? And I agree with what Brezzy said. We had this discussion earlier. Humans has to go fast. I personally side out the Aether Vials because you lose a turn starting with an Aether Vial. You need to start with either a Champ or a Noble Hierarch, or you're probably just dead. And Phil will probably pop up here quickly and also say you're actually probably just dead. And it's a long road up. We'll admit that. So
on to game 2. You're the humans player. You have the play.
Yes.
The actual starting 7. Let's assume that we're not going to have to miserably mulligan here. What is the hand you're actively looking for? We need a Champion of Perish.
I probably want like my optimal opening 7 is probably Champ, Noble Hierarch. I need my 2 lands. That gets me 5, so I get 2 other cards, which is probably Thalia's Lieutenant and Mantis Rider, assuming I draw the land. And I see people, Noble on turn 1, sure, but I can't attack on turn 2 then unless it's Mantis Rider. Noble is a fine turn 1, but I want my 3/3 Champ to be able to, actually my 4-power Champ to attack on turn 2. And if I open with Champ, I can get that extra point of damage. I agree with that last comment. Thalia on turn 2 is also good. The Noble into Rider. Oh yeah, if you can get the double image, I mean that's Magical Christmas Land, which I do love Image. Image is actually good in this matchup because you can copy your opponent's Wormcoil Engines, which is a great way to play catch up if your game goes long. Also, it turns colorless, so Ugin does not wreck you quite as hard. All right, so we have a turn 1 Aether Vial. And
Nature's Claim off the top.
I was not expecting Nature's Claim to come in here.
Me neither. But Andy does have the Damping Sphere in his hand for his second turn. I think he also has the mana to play it.
Yeah, no, that's not Ancient Ziggurat in play. So,
yeah.
Although if he blew Nature's Claim on the Aether Vial real fast, now that could just be a player thing. Okay, so we have the Oof. He brought in the Oof.
It's a 2/2 body. It's a bear that shuts off the redraws.
Yes.
The map can't be activated. Here's a Sylvan Scrying. He'll curve this then into, man. I'm hoping Andy has a Noble Hierarch here. Then he can play a land, noble, attack for 3, and play a Damping Sphere all in the same turn.
That would be... No, does not have the Hierarch. Would have played it pre-combat.
Yep. I think we're just going to play the Damping Sphere here.
I think we do now, too.
He doesn't have much of a board. The problem is that even with the Damping Sphere, if you can't kill Tron fast enough, you still just die to them hard casting good old-fashioned Karns at 7 mana.
That's definitely true. So there's Champ, and there's Champ. So this is what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
And now he's got a Damping Sphere. I didn't see the other card left in his hand.
Here's hoping it has human subtype. We're rooting for you, Andy.
All right, so there's Ancient Stirrings.
Those are stirrings. All right, so this isn't good news. If he finds the Tron piece he needs, he plays that this turn.
No, he played
he played
the tower this turn. So
Sure.
and that's one of the reasons probably Andy didn't play the Damping Sphere is because of the turn 1 forest. He was forced to not be on Tron on 3.
Reveals a spatial contortion for the chat. Spatial contortion does not kill Damping Sphere.
No, it does not.
I'm being a little obtuse, but this is at least a really promising start for Andy Walter.
Yeah, this is the draw he needs to be able to win this game.
Based on what we know about his hand, you probably end step one of your Canopy lands here.
Oh, absolutely. Playing the deck, I crack those things pretty much whenever I can. All they do is hurt you when they're part of your actual mana base. So
it is law in 36 states, but it's not federal law yet.
yes, that is correct.
There's the crack on the Canopy.
Oh, no. Looks like he's taking a point. Yep, they're marking it down. For Meddling Mage.
Okay. That's going to probably eat a spatial contortion and get turned inside out.
Unless he names Spatial Contortion. However...
I mean, that's obviously the best card to name with your... He responds with the trigger.
Yep. Oh, so you responded before naming. So that's... Which is what you should do. Like, when you have one known card in your hand, and you think they might name it, you respond with it.
Yeah.
So he named Karn again. Okay. Going to the combat step. And now will probably be the Damping Sphere. Yep, right there it is. And that was his last card in hand. So Andy is all out on table here. Now the real question is, does James have another Nature's Claim?
It is a painful mana base for Andy Walter right now.
Yeah, he's got two canopies.
Yeah. 3.
Oh,
Two Horizon Canopies and the green one. I don't know if he's got the Ugin. It looks like he's got the Karn Liberated.
The Ugin is in the list, but I don't see it in his hand. So there's the Ancient Stirrings. Okay.
I don't have an Ugin, but just wait, I'm going to find one. I'm going to play it and make you sad. Little does James know that Andy has a Damping Sphere he's just waiting to cast. He takes a Chromatic Star.
Yeah.
Sphere, sorry.
Yep. So one interesting thing he could do, I'll bet he was looking for the Oblivion Stone right there.
Sure.
Because he could have played Oblivion Stone this turn, and next turn have just had 5 lands in play, which isn't optimal, but it still would have fixed his problem.
But there's a Collector Roof on board. He can't deal with it.
Oh, that's true. Right, Collector Roof. That card does a lot.
What are we doing, Andy? We're going to pay and draw.
No, I think now he's cracking. Yep, so he paid 1 life. And now he's probably going to... Oh, Thalia's Lieutenant. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why he took the artifact personally, but I can't fault him for it. That's going to be 3, 5, math is hard, 9 damage.
Yeah, and his scoop phase. Okay.
Scoops it up. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we were looking for from a Humans opening. That is what we were talking about.
Yep.
I'm glad we got to see that.
Yeah.
So the last humans matchup was a little
Well,
bit bullied by the Tron list.
And the sideboard cards. Andy drew 2 very good sideboard cards for the matchup.
Yep.
And that determined it. James did draw his sideboard card, but he burnt it early. I think if he'd had it to be able to blow up the damping sphere, he could have untapped into something relevant.
Yeah. Which leads me to the question then, as far as the lines of play, you're not bringing in Nature's Claim for the Aether Vials in
No.
the human matchup as the Tron player,
Absolutely
are you?
not. No.
Because I know I'm not, but I don't know what I'm talking about half the time, so I know I wouldn't bring it in.
No. You're bringing it in because of the sideboard cards. You don't care about Aether Vial.
Right.
And even as a humans player, like, I typically board out Aether Vial. Now, if I think my opponent's going to blow their artifact removal on my Aether Vial, maybe I shouldn't be boarding it out.
You're leaving percentage, you're leaving value on the table, Stacy, as far as I can tell. What you should do is add Aether Vials to your deck.
Clearly go above 4.
That's right. In this case, I think James understandably wanted to set the tempo back while he developed, because he didn't have the first turn Tron land.
Correct.
That makes a lot of sense to me why he would have done it. I just still don't see Aether Vial personally as that high a target, and so that ended up costing him in part.
But one thing I will say, having played humans a bunch, people see that Aether Vial in turn 1, and they will do absurd amount of things to destroy it.
A Pithing Needle on the first turn.
Pithing Needle on the first turn, or the Nature's Claim, but many different things. I've been on the draw and had my opponent Abrupt Decay it on turn 1. Now because that double play possibility is there, and it scares people. But in this circumstance, yes, Tron player is on Thragtusk. He started 1 in his main and had 2 more in the board, which I expected him to bring in.
Andy taking a mulligan here, I think that was right. It was a middling start for the humans matchup, or the humans deck here in this matchup.
Especially on the draw, like you need that fast start.
Yeah.
Optimally, you want multiple 1-drops. You can kind of get by that with a couple other things, but you really want multiple 1-drops in this match. Yeah, and Phil's kind of agreeing. Yeah, Tron players shouldn't care about Vial. Karn the Great Creator does turn it off. Now, Karn Great Creator typically is not showing up till turn 4, and by that time, you've typically got the usefulness out of it. As a humans player, assuming you played it on turn 1, my Aether Vials tend to come right on time on turn 3, so maybe this is why I board them out, is because they don't treat me well. All right, so
we've got Thragtusk, we've got Tron Bits, we've got Karn.
I see multiple Meddling Mages on Andy's side.
Here's hoping that's fast enough.
And when I saw a Noble Hierarch, so...
And he is planning to keep this one.
Yep, he's already figuring out which card to ship away.
Right. Taking the pain.
Yep, and this will be higher. Oh, no, this is Aether Vial. Okay.
Oh, interesting. You're on the draw here. He had a Noble from what we could tell.
Now, you always play Aether Vial in 1. Aether Vial is always first, because otherwise it's a dead card. At least this way, yes, it's not as fast, I think, as you could have had.
Yeah.
But
that's going to be turn 3 Tron.
Yep.
Ouch. Double Canopy land.
Yep. There's Champ.
What will you name?
He takes his 2. Oh, that's painful. And then Thalia. Well, that means he's off Karn this turn.
He'll be off Karn next turn, too, if he plays a Meddling Mage, right?
Agreed.
That is a lot of white bordered land in that man's hand.
Yes.
So we put our Tron together. We pay 5 for a Karn Great Creator.
Because I don't believe he can cast anything else.
Yeah,
Turns
he doesn't
off.
have the green for the Thragtusk right now.
Yep. Turns off the Aether Vial. As a humans player, it's already done its job. It cast a champion. it's fine. So expedition map.
Paid 2 for a map.
Yep.
One of my least favorite things about the humans decks is when they're these little
And then
piddly
ships.
taxing. Wow.
He must. Oh, because he wants to get his green source.
Yep.
So, that's huge because being able to activate that Aether Vial this turn is going to be huge because you're going to be able to double Meddling Mage this turn.
Can you tell? Did Andy find a third land? It doesn't look like it.
I don't think so. You don't care. Your plays are the same even if you'd had your land drop here. It costs you a point of life is really all that matters.
Sure. It costs you 2 life.
Oh, 1 extra life. Because if you'd hit like a cavern or something like that, you still have to pay 1 life. So, but I can't quite see the left 2 cards in his hand. He's done the double. I would just go with the double Meddling Mage here.
Andy Walter on the bold strategy of dying to his own mana base with a deck with perfect 5-color mana.
Yep.
He's named something.
I think it's Karn again. And then end step goes and gets his forest.
Interesting.
I'm just surprised he's not Aether Vialing in his thing. And then did he do combat yet? Or this must be mid-combat.
Yep. He took... No, that was... I think he's shipping the turn from here.
Okay. And we marked our 5 right away already? Okay.
Yep. It's 15 up.
Got it.
Draw for turn. What did he find? He finds an... Well, he finds...
I think he found another forest. All right, well, there's Thragtusk.
It's Thragtusk. Nice
That does not cost any. That does not cost any extra under Thalia.
Correct. What are we going to end step with our Meddling Mage here? Are we going to end step with our Meddling Mage here?
Do you have 2 Meddling Mages in hand?
No. I thought the other card was Ergatic Teague, but I couldn't tell. He doesn't have Teague in his list.
No, he does not have Teak in his list.
Couldn't possibly be that. End step going in the tank for Andy Walter. He's deciding whether or not he's going to try to Meddling Mage and blind name something just to push the damage of the Champion of the Parish.
There it is.
There it is.
There
Meddling
it is.
Mage.
All right, and he names Ugin, which is also a solid choice because next turn he's going to Ugin is available. So,
Catches his trigger, misses his upkeep on his Aether Vial.
I think that's on purpose. Honestly, you leave that on 2 a lot, especially post board. All right, so he'll hopefully stop taking some damage.
No, goes right back to hurting himself.
Oh, okay. Well, there's Mantis Rider. That's why he's hurting himself.
Yeah, that's a board.
Yep. Swing in, get your 3 with Mantis Rider, ship back.
All right.
He still has Aether Violent too. I'm curious what card he has left in his hand, because I don't believe I know.
Calling it right now, it's Gaddock Teague.
even though we literally have the deck list and we know it's not there.
That's right.
Then I have to do other things, Farnham.
Hey, there's a Karn the Great Creator,
right.
paying 5 for an already undercosted Planeswalker.
Worth every point of mana, even at 5.
Trying to decide what he's going to do with it.
Well, and no, I think he's waiting on his opponent to activate his Aether Vial in response.
Is this where you Phantasmal Image naming?
I think that's what he's got to have. Like he's debating what to Phantasmal Image. I don't mind naming Thragtusk. You know, get yourself your own 5/3 that gains you 5 life. I mean, you are at 13 because of your own mana base. Otherwise, another Meddling Mage, naming like O-Stone, because then you've hit all of their things. Oh, he's got the Prince.
He's going to...
Ice Scrying.
He's scrying to... Interesting. Charmed Prince being a really, really interesting addition to this whole format.
Yeah, like he does weird things to the deck. That's what he does. But we've seen him be an all-star so far in these games.
He really needs a Thales Lieutenant off the top here.
Yeah.
Or a Phantasmal Image.
Yeah. I mean, Champ is up to 6 now. He can block and just outright kill Thragtusk. He can attack into Thragtusk next turn. And looking at the sideboard, things Karn the Great Creator can go get. He's got too many cards in hand. The Ensnaring Bridges probably isn't good enough. It would turn off Champ attacking, but nothing else. It would also turn off his own Thragtusk attacking. Trinisphere doesn't really have any effect anymore.
Nope. Mycosynth Lattice is a grab. Crucible of Worlds is not.
I mean, Mycosynth Lattice does have the positive ability of just not letting your opponent play Magic anymore, and you can probably slowly whittle them down.
Sure. But this doesn't look, the board state doesn't look like one of those slow whittle situations.
No, you're quickly getting to the point where you can just jam everything despite the fact they have, oh, he went and got the Ensnaring Bridge.
That does make combat more unfavorable for Andy Walter. He can't crash in with everyone.
Now it's all on, did he bring in his Deputy of Detention? I assume he did. James is on 3 cards? 4 cards. He's on 4 cards in hand. So everything it can attack except Champ.
He attacks with...
And he mugs Karn the Great Creator.
Passes the turn back. He probably has to end step his Canopy Land here.
Yeah, I think so. I think you want to try and cycle that. Depending on what he drew, we didn't see what he drew.
It was a sphere.
Oh, was it a Damping Sphere?
I think so. Now, this is an interesting consideration where, well, should James have moved one of his targets to the sideboard, targets like Oblivion Stone, to the sideboard, so you just have one on...
so like basically so you have more copies of it effectively in your main deck.
Right.
I like that. I mean, it's having 7 copies of Oblivion Stone would be pretty good, and Andy has not named Oblivion Stone yet. There's the oof.
There's
so that
oof.
I mean, we'll see if his opponent has responses. He probably will.
One of the curious things about this situation, and I know Breezy will probably get back to us about this too, is with a Resolve Collector Oof, you cannot play Karn the Great Creator angling towards Mycosynth Lattice anymore.
Correct.
Because it makes it a symmetrical shutdown.
Correct. Then nobody gets to play Magic anymore.
That's right. You can and are welcome to make such poor life decisions. I shouldn't say can't. Do what you want to do. Play the Magic you want to play. It's not going to make the game end any quicker. There's a Worm Coil Engine. That's going to be a bit of a turn of the tide.
It blocks really well. Again, Ensnaring Bridge means it's not attacking. James is on how many cards in hand?
He's got very few.
Yeah, I think he's down to 1, if I'm seeing right.
It's 1 or 2.
Yeah, take full advantage of the Wish sideboard. Yeah, so now we're kind of in this stalemate. Like, neither person can really attack.
James is just waiting to draw his Oblivion Stone.
Yeah, that's his out currently. And Andy needs to find his Deputy of Detention.
He should probably use one of those Canopy Lands. I would use one of these Canopy Lands here.
I would agree. You should Canopy Land. Even if it just cycles you another land, you just need to get through your deck quicker.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got something on the end step. Got another Charmed Prince.
That's pretty good. He's
Scrying
scry 2 more.
Again, looking for Deputy of Detention.
Oh
yeah,
the Collector Roof.
Thank you. Yeah, Oblivion Stone's blank.
Well, he can't. He also can't activate his Aether Vial.
No, doesn't Oof say opponents? Because it's new.
Could be. I'll find out. No, he couldn't end step that. That's a misplay. He can't activate that Aether Vial. He has Collector Roof.
Oh. Okay.
Ugin's named with Meddling Mage, so there isn't an out with Ugin right now. But we got to get a judge call to get this backed up a little bit. So we're pausing the game right now. It's an understandable misplay. Cards currently in play. There's a lot with the board. Andy had activated his own. Karn's also named Phil with the Meddling Mage. Andy Walter activated his own Aether Vial in the end step of James Skoog and put another Charmed Prince into play when he wasn't able to. It probably doesn't affect the board state very much beyond cards that he has drawn, but it also means life totals would have changed relative to the mana that he had spent too. So we're going to get this backed up, get this figured out, and then we'll get the game moving again. Get it figured out?
They're figuring it out, but we're not backing up.
Okay. No, that makes sense. He did scry 2, and one of those would have been a card he would have drawn, and it also would have necessitated that he pay life in some capacity for that.
Also, like, we're most of a full turn cycle. Like, he end stepped it, did it, drew, passed back.
Yep.
His opponent, drew, searched up for the Urza's tower, or Urza's factory, and played it, and it was about to pass the turn back. Like, he wasn't doing much else.
Gun Daddy P is asking the right question, which is, where's the blast zone in this particular list? And I will tell you that there is not a blast zone in this Tron list.
Yep.
Again, new cards have been printed in the last calendar year that have had a huge impact on Modern. Blast Zone is one of those cards, and unfortunately, James Skoog does not have access to that card.
All right, so as they're continuing play, so we continue play from here since we're not backing it up. And Andy did crack one of his, he did crack his Horizon Canopy on the end step there.
Now we're going to start making people.
Yep, that's...
Activating the factory, making people.
The factory is not an artifact. It still gets to do things.
There's the Ugin.
But Ugin is still named with Meddling Mage.
And he has a Karn Liberated in hand.
Which is also named with Meddling Mage.
Third card is an Ancient Stirrings.
And with Oof and Oblivion Stone off, I don't know.
It's Nature's Claim, that's what it is.
So I don't know. I mean, I feel like how this game ends is just who can get to their out first. And I don't know what Tron's out is. So he's Ancient Stirrings.
He's Nature's Claiming.
Oh,
he's going to claim his own trick to draw a new card here.
That one doesn't draw a card on death. That's what Andy was looking at. It wasn't a star, it was a sphere. Sphere, sure. The draw is part of the activated ability. Star, it's on death. So he doesn't look like he drew the card. It looks like Andy caught it, so
this is a sticky wicket for somebody. No outs for the Tron player. I don't disagree, Phil.
Yeah, I actually think that's true.
It's just a matter of time before Andy Walter finds a deputy of detention and kicks James Skoog out of school. And making more people.
Yep. Ulamog, there is 2 Ulamogs in the list, so that is the Tron players out.
Ah, there we go, yes. But one of them has to be, what, exiling his own ensnaring bridge?
Yeah, otherwise they can't attack. So, but he gets 2 permanents when he
Oh,
casts
no, yeah,
Ulamog.
he just exiles the meddling mages and then...
Yep. You hit the one on Ugin and your ensnaring bridge, and then you blow up the world. And you only have to go at, like, 3, so you even get to keep your Thrag Tusk.
We've got the option to crack that canopy land.
Yeah, I think you should definitely do so. Just remember, you can't do it with the Ancient Ziggurat. Important safety tip.
Is this a meddling mage naming Ulamog, 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 Ulamog? If he names Ulamog, there is no out.
Correct.
That's a lot of letters he's writing. What did he name?
Oh, I think he named the other Karn.
Oh, no.
Karn GC. Yep.
Oh, no. Andy, no! Andy, no!
No.
That's super bad for us.
Maybe you'll find the fourth meddling mage. I
Oh,
mean,
man. And I hate humans, but I'm totally on the human side here.
and I'm a humans player, and I'm kind of like, maybe Tron will get there.
The tokens are...
They're Urza's factory tokens.
yeah, they're worker tokens or something.
Oh, they're assembly worker tokens. So like that one random other card that like pumps assembly workers would pump them.
Ah, perfect. So we need a steam boss or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Just keep making dudes.
Yep. I mean, actually, with the making of a dude each turn, he's like kind of finally started to catch up on permanence here.
Yeah, Deputy of Detention would be real good right about now.
Yeah. Oh.
6 coming across the
Yeah,
top.
James got up to 3 cards. Mantis Riders get in there.
There's our path to victory, friends.
Is your opponent forgetting to play cards out of hand?
Turns out all the cards in his hand are locked off by
True.
meddling mages.
Yeah, why not?
You guys see my awesome accounting abacus deck? It's called Humans. I put dice on things.
I put dice on all the things.
That's right. That is a large champion of the parish. Oh, we're tapping mana for things.
Well, he remembered he has to get cards out of his hand now, so...
What are we playing?
Sylvan Scrying.
Sylvan Scrying. Gonna go get that Sanctum of Ugin, huh? Looking for Blast Zone, cursing whatever god put you on this earth. Because it's not where you want it to be.
Does go get the Sanctum. I assume since he put it there, it's his land for the turn.
I like it. Sanctum of Ugin.
Well, and we already agreed that, Ulamogs is out here, so... But he needs something to cast that lets him sack the Sanctum. That's... so Basic Swamp, yeah. So we have the deck list. He did not register a Blast Zone today.
Some people like to live dangerously. There was a lot of humans, to be fair to the chat. He has 2 Walking Ballista. I don't know if they're still in the main deck. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
James, the crowd is with the chat is with you. They're rooting for you.
there's a damping sphere for Andy Walter to turn all of James's Tron lands into basic wastes.
Well, at this point, that doesn't matter a whole lot because he can still go get his Ulamog.
Yeah. He has to cast something that meets the criteria first.
Did Andy attack there? I think he was able to.
I don't know that he did.
It's always so hard to tell with those Mantis Riders because they...
We'll see. I'll put him to 9 for now, and we'll get a clarification in a second.
Yeah. So there is Karn Liberated, Karn the Great Creator, and Ugin are the 3 meddling mages, for those just checking in. And there's an Ensnaring Bridge, which has locked this game down into where we're at.
That's right.
This is why we have all these permanents.
This is Quagmire, the format.
Yes.
He's debating, it looks like he's debating whether or not he can attack here.
Yeah, I mean, he's been making dudes for a while, but, I mean, Andy has been continuing to put other creatures on the board. I mean, Andy is at 12. Andy is at 12, all from his own mana base. For those checking in late here. Nope, he passed the turn.
Okay. Interesting. We really need a deputy of detention. There's 6.
Yeah, there's 6 more.
So he's either at 3 or he is at
9. Yeah, we're not sure
turn.
if he attacked last turn. And actually, he probably did. He literally can't cast any of those cards in his hand. I see 2 Ugins and 1 of each Karn. So like
those are bad beats.
I mean, that's why you play Meddling Mage in this deck.
Nothing more fun than not being allowed to play your cards.
All right.
Making a guy.
Making a guy. All right.
Top decks. Top decks. Did he get it?
Nope.
He
Scoop
scoops him up.
phase.
Well done by
Oh,
James
man.
Skoog to play to every possible out there. Really well played by James. That was a lot of fun to watch.
And well played on Andy's part for correctly naming all of the correct cards in order.
That's right.
Although, James, if you end up watching this stream later, should have played Blast Zone, buddy. Should have played Blast Zone.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that is our round 6. We didn't have a backup
no,
match
we didn't have
after
a
this one.
backup match, and we're actually at 50 minutes anyway. So,
All right.
we're
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into our stream. This is our first regular or annual or routine 1K event here at D6 Games in Rochester, Minnesota.
So, I did have a moment to chat with the TO, Nate, kind of in between when we were waiting for rounds.
Of course.
And he's looking at aiming the next one of these for, I mean, so we live in Minnesota. There's this thing called winter. It tends to hit us like a Mack truck.
Yep.
And so he was looking at something like either March or April for the next one of these. He doesn't want to,
Sure.
put up anything and then, snow happens and, snow, weather ruining your large scale event tends to be a problem. So
That's terrific.
but yeah, he's planning on doing another one of these sometime in March.
So we didn't get to talk about it when the match started because they got up and running so early. I would like to share. We did have, as part of what we wanted to do, because this is our first time doing a stream, I had asked for some questions about our competitors here, and our friend James had shared that he's been playing Magic. He was our Tron player in this round, had shared that he's played Magic off and on since 2008. The reason for the deck choice that he made is that he just likes playing the big mana nonsense. He really likes playing Karns and resolving those cards. His greatest Magic achievement, by the way, is the real treasures of his Magic career is the friends that he's made along the way, which I appreciate. And thanks again for James and Andy to sit down and play this round. The last thing he would like to share with the commentators for us to know, to share with you guys, is that you just lost the game. Also, some happy birthday wishes to Kyle Reichley in chat. If anyone knows Kyle and is watching, wish Kyle a happy birthday too. That'd be really good. He was our competitor who was our mono red prowess player
Oh, okay.
in
Cool.
round 5. So,
All right. So we're going to take a short break, and the judges are going to set up our feature match.
For our top 8?
For our top 8. I asked them to give us our 1-8 pairing, so we'll see who that is. We have snowflakes on our screen. We'll see who that is, who is our 1s and our 1 and our 8, and we will go from there.